Okay, children, continuing with the theory sums. Today we will see one sum. First we will see the example. Now these examples typically come for 2 marks and they are very simple. Question will be, show 5 minus root 3 is irrational. So first step you have to do, you have to assume the opposite of it. See, assume 5 minus root 3 is rational. And because it is a rational number, we can represent it in the a by b form, where you can say a and b are O prime. Now next step, don't see from the textbook because you will get confused. Just have the roots term remaining here, and everything else you just shift on that side. Taking the LCM, and this minus sign also if I shift there, then okay. In textbook he is writing this step directly, so some children get confused how do we get this. So we just have to solve it normally. Keep the root term on one side and the other terms on one side. Once you reach this step, the last thing you just have to write, since a and b are integers, we get this term 5b minus a upon b to be rational. So that means root 3 is rational. But this contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational. This contradiction has arisen because of an incorrect assumption that 5 minus root 3 is rational. So first step in these terms, you will write this. Then you will, whatever the term is there equal to a by b, and then keep the root term here and shift everything on that side. Now you will say, since this is a rational number, because we know that a, b and e are integers, so this is a rational number. That means root 3 is also rational. But this contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational, because now we have done the theorem. So by the theorem we know root 3 is irrational. And this contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption that 5 minus root 3 is rational. And then of course the sum is done. The other type of same sum is there, and that sum is done even faster. Is this: prove, say 3 root 2 is irrational. In this also first step same, let it be rational, and then 3 root 2 is equal to a by b. And here again keeping the root term on one side, so root 2 is equal to a upon 3 by b. Now the same thing, again the same pattern. Since 3a and b are integers, so a upon 3b is rational. So root 2 is rational. But this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational. So we conclude that 3 root 2 is irrational. Okay. So in both these sums, first step is you will keep the root term on one side and the other terms on the other side, and then the same argument. Okay. Now generally this sum comes for 2 marks. Okay. But remember one thing: if in case this sum comes for 4 marks, then one additional step you have to do is you have to prove, say root 2, root 3, whatever is there, you have to prove that root 2 is irrational. That theorem which we did the other day, that whole thing you have to write. Okay. But if it generally this sum comes for 2 marks, then you don't have to do that. Okay. Now if we see exercise 1.3, question 3 plus question number 2, prove 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational. First step again the same, is equal to a by b. Then one by one take everything on that side. And just take the LCM first. And then I will take 2 down. And now again the same, exact same statements will come which are there on the. Since a and b are rational, therefore this term is rational. But that means root 5 is rational. But this contradicts the fact that root 5 is irrational, and this has come because of incorrect assumption. First step, of course, you will write here. Let us assume that 3 plus 2 root 5 is rational. Now, similarly, question number 3. first is 1 by root 2. First step you do before you do this sum, just multiply this by root 2 so that it becomes easier. Root 2 by 2. Again, root 2 by 2 is equal to a by b. Shift 2 over there. Root 2 is equal to 2a by b, and then again the same work. Okay. And similarly, question number 3, second and third part will also be done. Now, of course, first you will do example 10 in example 11 so that you know how to write the sum, and then you will just do question number 2 and question number 3, which has 3 parts. So this is exercise 1.3. Now I'll be in this in chapter 2 we have done a few extra sums. In chapter 3 and chapter 4 so far we have not done the extra sums. We will do them later. But now in chapter 1, in this chapter I am doing the extra sums right now, only a few. So because the theory sums you have gotten to know them, so it is better you finish them at one go. Otherwise you will again have to remember everything. Anyway, now there are I'll be sending you a page. A few sums, first 10 sums we are discussing today, and then in the next chapter the remaining ones will be done. First question is, now keep this sheet in front of you when you are just looking at these sums and the solutions. I am giving you some hints, I am not solving the sums totally. If HCF of 408 and 1032 is expressed in the form 1032m minus 408 into y, find the value of m. Basically, whatever the HCF you get of these two, and this HCF you can get by any method, whatever you want. Okay, by any method you can get, Euclid's or normal factorization. That term you write here, the HCF, and then just solve for m. I mean, minus 408 into 5 will go there, 103 will go down, 3 will go down, and you will get m. Okay, normal solving. Question number 2, find the largest number which divides 70 and 125, leaving the remainder 5 and 8. The first step we have to do, the remainder, one thing, suppose if you are dividing 7 by 2, 2 3s are 6, remainder is 1. Now if we subtract this remainder from 7, then the number becomes totally divisible by 2. 2 3s are 6 will be 6. So first step we are doing, the remainder which they have given, we subtracted 125 by 8, 70 by 5. So this you will get 117, this you will get 65. And now you get the HCF of both. Okay? And the HCF, whatever it will be, it will divide both of them. That's what they asked. Find the largest number which divides these two numbers. Question number 2, find the least number that is divisible by all the numbers from 1 to 10. From 1 to 10 it should be divisible. So here you will find LCM. Okay, here you will find LCM, and that number you will see is it divisible by all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Some children may get confused, and in this question number 3 they might find the HCF. So in case suppose you find the HCF also, and once you find the HCF, if you just check your answer, is this HCF divisible by all the numbers, you will find it is not divisible. So at that time you will realize your mistake and you will say no, we have to find the LCM. Question number 4, can two numbers have 18 as their HCF and 380 as their LCM? Now whenever this type of question comes, always remember HCF will always divide the LCM totally. Totally means without decimal. So you just check this whenever this type of question comes. If this division is normal, you are able to divide, then you will say yes, it is possible. And if it is does not divide, if decimal is coming there, then you will say it is not possible. Question number 5 is normal sum using Euclid's division algorithm. Find which of the following pairs of number are co-prime. So you will use Euclid's division algorithm, and if HCF is 1, then you will say they are co-prime, otherwise they are not. Okay? When the only factor between two numbers is 1, for example, if one number is 7 and 5, the only factor is 1. So then the numbers we say are co-prime. Question number 16, the HCF of two numbers is 16 and the product is 30272, find their LCM. Question number 16 is totally of the textbook. Okay? Exercise 1.2, you have know that formula, HCF into LCM is equal to product of the two numbers, so you have to do that. Now question number 17, question number 7, find the smallest number which when increased to 17 is exactly divisible by both 520 and 468. Okay, in this sum, first you find the LCM. Okay, first you find the LCM. The LCM will be such a number which both these numbers can divide. And now this LCM you subtract by 17. Okay, this LCM whatever you get, you subtract by 17, and this will be the answer, because if that number you add 17 to it, then the question which is find the smallest number which when increased to 17 is exactly divisible by both this and this. So again I am repeating, first find the LCM, and after you find the LCM just subtract it by 17. Now we will do question number 8 and 9, the last question. Now these questions we have just done in today's class. Almost the same questions are there. Of course, writing will be slightly. Prove root 5 minus 3 root 2 is irrational. Now in this sum, if you notice, there are two roots. Okay. So in this, whenever a sum comes in which there are two roots, first step of course the same one. Let it be rational and represented by a by b. Next step you do, you take one of the roots on that side. Okay. Suppose I take this root on that side. Okay. Now you have to do whole squaring on both sides. Here it will be root 5 square is 5. Here I'll just do this one step first. Okay. A square 9. Square plus 2 a square plus 18b square plus 6 root 2 ab. Now the next step which I have to do, I will just keep root 2 on one side and shift everything on this side. So first this 5b will come here, is equal to a square plus 18b square plus 6 root 2. And 18b square if I take, then it will be minus 13b square minus a square and upon 6ab is equal to root 2. Okay, now the same argument you will write. Since a and b are integers, so this is a rational term, that means root 2 is rational. But if root 2 is rational, this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational, and again the same argument. Okay, so this is a slightly different sum because in this two roots are there. Okay, so whenever the two roots are there, remember you can take root 5 also over there, or you can take minus 3 root 2 also. One of the terms you can take. And then you have to do the whole squaring so that you get rid of one root, and then shift everything on that side so that on one side only this root term remains. Okay. And last sum is question number 9. Prove 2 root 3 by 5 is an irrational number. So let it be equal to a by b, and next step is of course 5a upon b. Then of course the same statements will come. 5a and 2 is below, so 2. Root 3 is equal to 5a upon 2b, and then the same statements will come. Since this is integer, so this is rational, so root 3 is rational, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we have discussed the first 9 sums, okay, of this extra sheet. When you are just seeing this, keep the extra sheet with you so that you understand what we are doing. Okay, cheers.